sorry. Lee Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Of course, this debate has nothing to do with COVID or the negotiations with the EU. It's more to do with the opposition once again refusing to accept democracy. But of course, the opposition parties have form in refusing to accept the democratic will of the people. Let's just remind ourselves that we voted to leave in this country as the United Kingdom. Not as Northern Ireland, not as Scotland, not as Wales, not as England, but as the United Kingdom. Look at the benches over here. We are the 109s, and we're here because of your reluctance to accept democracy. Most of us here are from Leave constituencies, and we were voted in because of the opposition benches. That's a fact. On the 23rd of June 2016, my phone never stopped ringing. People from all over Ashfield were ringing to ask where did they go to vote. These were people who had never voted before, people of all ages who wanted their voices to be heard. And when the results came in the very next day, the same people were calling me again to say that their vote really did count. The referendum result went a long way to restore confidence in democracy in left-behind areas like mine. The same left-behind areas that the opposition told us would suffer if we left the EU. In Ashfield, our pits, our factories and swathes of manufacturing industries have vanished over the past 40-odd years, and this is the same period we have been a part of the wonderful EU. The people in Ashfield cannot see the benefits of being in the EU, and no one has ever explained it to them. I wonder why. Maybe the opposition do not realise that in places like Ashfield you cannot threaten us any longer. You cannot tell us, no, I'm not giving way, you cannot tell us that we will suffer, lose our jobs and our homes if we do not listen to them. We have suffered in the past, we have lost jobs, we have seen our area decline and be ignored, but we are fighters in Ashfield and we're coming back stronger. And for the first time in decades we have hope, and we know we can make a success of things, and we know that Ashfield can once again become a force to be reckoned with in the UK that is not controlled by the EU. But 4 years later, after the Brexit blockers, 4 years later, I'm not giving way, but 4 years later the Brexit blockers are still at it. The Brexit blockers are still at it. And let me tell you, the majority of people in Ashfield and the first-time voters are not happy with them. Even the Remain voters are not happy with them. We're all Democrats and we should respect that. My voters were not happy with the Labour Party last December when the people of Ashfield voted me in and many of my colleagues across the Midlands and the North. Just after the election, the Labour Party started knocking doors in Ashfield to ask why their voters had left them. I sought to open them with more Labour MPs in here today, but perhaps they've got some extra guidelines on social distancing. That's why they're probably not here. But imagine that. Imagine ignoring your core voters for 4 years and then telling them that they did not know what they were voting for, or that we should have a confirmatory vote, a second vote, and then telling people no one voted for a hard Brexit, a no-deal Brexit, or any other type of Brexit. The people of Ashfield voted for Brexit, deal or no deal. And the fact that the opposition, led by the SNPs, are now using COVID as another excuse to prolong the agony just shows us how low they are prepared to sink. But we still don't know what Labour Party's policy is on this at the moment. Maybe in a couple of years' time, Captain Hindsight will tell us all. But the good news is, I have some oven-ready advice for the Labour Party. They need to start knocking doors before an election and ask people what they actually want, rather than telling them what they should want. It was easy for me. I asked the voters, what do you want? And they answered, get Brexit done. And I promised to get it done. And they voted for me. And here I am, 8 months later. And after decades, no, I'm not giving away, of Labour MPs in Ashfield, and after 4 years of Labour telling the people of Ashfield they did not know what they were voting for. Yes, and I'm here, I'm sticking up for people in Ashfield, and the same people, the same opposition parties, keep ignoring my people, but that won't go on for much longer. The Labour Party still do not get it. They don't understand their own voters in the Midlands and in the North. But the SNP are a bit smarter than the Labour Party. They don't really want to be a part of the EU, but they see continued membership as a way of forcing independence and splitting up the Union. But have no fear, I will be waving my Union Jack at midnight on the 31st of December to celebrate the United Kingdom finally getting to make its own way in the world, and I hope the SNPs will be joining me. Thank you.